Okay, coming to you from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. So this video is touching base on things to wear under your Spider-Man suits. A lot of this is purely optional. There's only one piece that I would say is not optional, and I'm sure that most of you have heard of it or know of it by now. So this is a pretty quick rundown. Obviously, I'm not getting into some of the fancier things like, you can get muscle suits. But this is mainly going over what I wear and what I know a lot of other people wear within the cosplay community. So the first and biggest thing that's not really up for negotiation is either a dance belt or a cup. They have a lot of different types of both. I personally use a cup. It's preferable over the dance belt, a little more comfortable. But I do know that a lot of the community does use a dance belt. I've also heard of people just layering on shorts and things, compression shorts, things like that. But I would say for safety, it's best to either go with a dance belt or cup, once again. And so that's one that's not really negotiable, because you are wearing a skin-tight spandex suit, and that's not just for Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man, Invincible, Superman, pretty much any and every superhero that is not wearing actual pants. Even some cosplays of Captain America. If you're going as the comic Captain America, you probably need a dance belt or cup, something to, keep your Peter Parker from showing, if I may say. Next up on the list is what I think that a lot of people look over, which is compression gear. So these not only give you a base color, just in case your suit bleeds out on elbows, shoulders, knees, whatever, any of your joints, any high stress areas, especially the crest of your chest, things like that. It helps it from bleeding out, especially if you don't have a pure dye suit. It helps a lot. With pure dye suits, you don't have to worry too much about this, but if you are wearing, for example, let's say you have a cup and it's with white shorts, and that's what the cup goes in, that white can stand out against any skin, and it helps keep that even coloring. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can get a compression shirt and compression pants, or if you want to go the easier route, you can always go with just a full compression suit, or even another spandex suit doubling up on them. These help not only hide your extra things that you might not want to be seen, it helps give your body like a little more flush. So if you are a larger cosplayer that might not necessarily want that showing like I am, it helps hide some of your body. Or if you just want that flat base coat, it gives you that as well. And it's easier, especially to see whenever you have white cosplays. So any Spider-Man suit that's white, for example, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man Oscorp suit, Future Foundation suit, Age of Apocalypse suit, things like that, it helps with that base layer, getting it that darker and not showing through your skin. And that's the main purpose and reason of them. And then the last major thing, that's not just tiny little nitpicks and things, I would say is Balaclava. Obviously, this is for people that, worry about their hair getting tons of longer hair, things like that. And it also does, in my case, especially because the longer hair, smooth out some of those spots. I've even put Balaclava over a face shell, and it helps that face shell blend in upon the top of your head and around your cheeks. So it helps it blend in a little bit more. It also carries over that, darker black if you're using a black balaclava. It carries over that darker base that you're using with the bodysuit. I personally prefer to wear balaclavas with anything that has a zipper in the back. It helps not have to worry about my hair. Anything with a thicker mask, really, you don't necessarily have to worry about it so much. For instance, the Deadpool mask, I know that plenty of those have zippers in the back. I still wear one under the Deadpool mask just for the hair, but those you don't have to worry about any discoloration on. And the only other like small things that you might want to consider wearing underneath the suit is typically, this is going along with the black bodysuit. I'll wear socks that are about knee-high, that are all black. It just helps keep that flush look all throughout, and especially on your ankles. It helps from the suit rubbing too much on your skin, chafing you. You know, the whole Spider-Verse, get some baby powder. It helps with that. And I find that it helps your feet stick a little better into glued soles. So, you know, water shoe soles, whatever, or the soles that I do commissions for, which are the sports shoe soles. It helps for both of those. And it again just creates less friction with Kung Fu shoes and any other type, even if it doesn't have soles. It's a little more comfortable on your ankles. Apart from that, the only other small things that you might want to add are, you know, if you were really worried about, you know, skin bleaching through whatever, being able to see it, maybe some very thin black gloves, but that's very minute. Another thing is, I see a lot of people wear Webshooters, and typically you'll have them glued onto the suit and things like that, but I find that, you know, hard details of the suit, so like plastics, things like that, make it harder to wash the suit. So I have bands that are magnetic, that just slide on into the suit, and you pop the Webshooters on underneath them. It's way easier to do it that way. It looks a little bit better. The only thing that you really have to worry about is if you have thicker wrists like me, it can bulge out a little bit. But it's nothing that's a deal breaker. And some of the smaller things do make the suit work a little better, a little bit more convenient, give it a certain pop. So all of these come together to form a pretty nice base suit. I don't have any of my cosplay things with me, or else I would show you guys the base suit. But you can look at any picture of me really and kind of see hints of it. In some of my tighter suits, you can see impressions of, you know, the shirt bottoms or the weight or the cuffs on my arms, things like that. But it's all super minute. Nobody ever really notices, especially at a cosplay convention. You're never gonna have anybody go, oh, what's all bunched up around your wrist, you know? Nobody really cares, nobody pays attention. It's a nice little reassurance to have. But I wanted to make this video because I know that a lot of people use base suits and it's not super talked about. Use compression gear, whatever, and you never really see it directly addressed in a lot of other YouTubers, you know, topics on what to wear under them. And so I wanted to be able to make people aware that that is very much an option and it's not uncommon. You're not the weird one for doing it, you know. But yeah, I hope that you guys have an amazing day and God bless.